Hello there, welcome to Grasshopper Hunters. Today we will be exploring the ecosystem of April's backyard.
A common input down yonder consists of grasshoppers being consumed by its main predator, a yellow-headed blackbird. The output is the energy given to the blackbird by the grasshopper's mass being digested. The grasshopper is transformed into energy and transformed into the bird. Look at this tremendous, huge grasshopper. Why aren't you focusing? That is a grasshopper right there. Yes, as it waits for its predator. The blackbird.
Swoop down. Where's the grasshopper? I found my prey, mate. Come here, grasshopper. I think it's dead.
It's a frozen grasshopper.
Oh my god! Or it's paralyzed. Anyway, I found my prey. Pretend I'm a blackbird. I'm a blackbird. You see, I'm wearing black and I fly like a bird through the sky. As we venture up this monstrous hill, we come upon a common species, the deer. As we observe the deer, we realize that the deer is a positive feedback mechanism. It eats our crops and digs up our ground, creating a greater disturbance to the system. You may notice the deer are feeding upon these branchy bushes. These bushes are a perfect example of a positive feedback mechanism.
They are slowly absorbing CO2, these bushes, out of the atmosphere and using the energy that is decreasing the disturbances of our system by lowering our climate temperature. Let's keep trekking through the treacherous and enormous ecosystem here. Hello! Oh, I can't. There they go.
Crocky, mate!
Crocky!
It's a deer! Crocky! Crocky!
They go. Where'd they go? Oh, I see him.
Oh, over there.
Oh,
look at it gallop!
It's galloping.
Think about that cellular respiration.
Oh, there we go. There they go. Galloping away.
What we have right here is an interesting specimen. It's actually a deer feces. It's droppings, you may call it. This is a good example of decomposition and a transfer of energy. The energy comes from the food, which then is digested by the deer, which is then peeped out in little balls like this, and eventually will decompose and nourish the soil.
As we trek up this big monstrous hill, we look for the deer carcass. It lays upon the above. But we shall find our carcass as we drop our manly dog. Watch out for us. He looks for the carcass as it turns into crap. I forgot.
So do. Hunt! Hunt! So do hunt! Where'd it go? Oh, I see it. Crikey, mate. It's a grasshopper.
I see that enormous beast. It's a bat.
This grasshopper is a small sum of mass, yet a large sum of energy. Watch those little legs make such a great leap. Leap, grasshopper, leap. They find a common home in these magnificent bushes. The bushes stand strong through the whole winter and lavish through the excruciating heat in the summers and are quite sustainable. You may be noticing a pattern in this ecosystem. The grass is grown, the deer eats the grass, the coyote eats the deer, and then the carcass is eaten by consumers, and then it breaks down into compost, which will nourish the soil, as well as the deer droppings. So the deer is really a large part of our ecosystem here.
You may notice that this grass is growing quite tall. This is because autotrophs use the process of photosynthesis, converting to carbon dioxide into the organic compounds, especially glucose, using solar energy. Once the grass has grown, you'll often find large amounts of heterotrophs up on the hillsides, such as deer.
Rocky, mate, we seem to have stumbled upon this abiotic factor. It seems to be a propane tank. This is not a living creature and it has no life in it, so it's abiotic. But it is surrounded by this biotic factor, known as grass. And you may notice my dog is also an abiotic factor, and it wanders around this abiotic factor. So, you know, they're intermixed in the backyard.
Tune in on the next episode of Grasshopper Hunters on the Ecosystem Local Park.